how to get better at talking to people. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about some internal things that you may be dealing with. Then I'm going to talk about maybe some tips and some tricks to have better conversations. So let's get into it, okay? So when we're talking with a new person or we're talking with somebody who we're not necessarily familiar with, if you're watching this and you want to have better conversations, you're probably talking to somebody maybe that you're not super close with. Because if you think about it, if you think about your best friend or your closest family member, you do not have issues having conversations with that closest person to you. Why is that? Why do you not have issues with that closest person in your life? Why can you talk to them about anything? Why does that work out? But then we talk to another person just in a different body with a different personality, and now we no longer know how to talk to somebody. All right, so it really comes down to this. When you are hanging out with your best friend or that close family member, you feel safe being authentic. So when we have better conversations, it's not because I'm necessarily a better conversationalist than you. While there's skills to that, it's who feels the most comfortable. I want to say that again because this is a PowerPoint. It's not who is the most skilled, it's who feels the most comfortable. This is a mindset and an attitude. So when I'm talking to somebody, I can have a great conversation when I let go and I just feel comfortable. If there's any thought in my mind of, I feel uncomfortable right now, oh, what are they going to think of me? Do they know I'm so nervous right now? Can they hear in my voice that I'm scared? All of those things that we're thinking about, what is the problem? We're too much in our head and not kind of, I guess you would say, maybe letting our spirit just flow, okay? Letting our essence just flow out of us. Letting our heart lead is maybe a way that I would put that, okay? So I'm either option number one, I'm in my head and I'm like focused on how do I appear. Oh man, I'm just over analyzing myself, or I'm just enjoying the moment. Am I analyzing or enjoying? Analyzing, enjoying. Which one am I doing? All right, so when you're with your best friend or your closest family member, you feel emotionally safe being yourself with them. So you know subconsciously, while you've probably never had this thought, you feel safe with that person because you know that when you say something, you are still going to be accepted as a human being and be part of the group subconsciously. And you could even think about this on an evolutionary psychology level where we talk about, they always use the examples of tribes. Back in the day, let's just say it's a tribe of cavemen or something. There is a leader, and if you upset the leader, you lose out on resources and you could die. All right, so what they say is being part of the group and being accepted into the group means you survive. While that is still somewhat true today when we're just having a conversation, it is not the same level, but it is wired in our biology that way. So you can't have a good conversation if you're worried about what does that person think. So let's think about it this way. Let's just say you're on you're the most high pressure job interview as possible, and you're with like a billionaire or your idol is interviewing you for this job, and this is your only shot at the job. There is so much pressure for you to perform. You need to appease that person, so to speak, in order to get the job. Or let's just say your boss comes in to the office and you maybe have done something bad. You're now in a meeting with your boss, and that boss is threatening to fire you. Well, you don't have the freedom because you're operating out of fear. When you're operating out of fear, you cannot operate out of love and enjoyment of an experience, okay? So when we talk to a person that we don't really know that well, or maybe they have a different status symbol than us, what happens is you do not feel comfortable with that person already. You do not feel comfortable with that person already, and your biology is trying to tell you, I better act right around this person or I'm not going to be accepted. Your pre-wiring in your brain, we could even call it a computer virus in your brain, is trying to tell you you must behave a certain way around this person to get their approval. All right, so that's one thing that I want you to understand. When you're talking with your family members or your friends, you already feel safe. You're already accepted in the group. You are not getting kicked out of the group for being yourself because it's an emotionally safe environment. But when we have a new person, we don't know how they're going to react, okay? And what happens is we tend to seek that person's approval for some reason because there's going to be some unwanted feelings if they disapprove of us. This is something that has happened to me personally and happens to a lot of people. And I've become aware of it, and I've learned to actually overcome this. So when I'm out there, I need to realize a few things. Number one, I'm probably never going to see this person again if I'm talking to a stranger. And two, whether I'm talking to a stranger or maybe a coworker or a boss, if I'm not accepted by him, I still have a group that I'm still accepted, just this person has something wrong with them. It really just comes down to the mindset. If this person doesn't accept you for the way you automatically are, then there is something wrong with them, not with you. There is something wrong with them, not with you. So, number one, you have to realize whether that person likes you or not, you are still safe and you are still accepted. If that person yells in your face and says, "You're like, why are you talking to me? You're awkward and weird," there's something wrong with them. All right, so we need to just get this concept in our head. There's something wrong with them, not with me. The other side of the coin is there are certain cues and things that we can do to communicate better. I might have to make a separate video about this, but if you've ever heard of self-fulfilling prophecy, the self-fulfilling prophecy is what I think is going to happen usually does. And so what happens is if I think that somebody doesn't like me or if I think I'm not going to be accepted, if I haven't done a lot of inner work to feel confident about myself, then I'm actually going to come off as appearing nervous. If I feel nervous and awkward, I'm going to project that nervousness and awkwardness onto them. And they are going to have a higher chance of not liking me when they may have liked me more if I had a little bit more social skills to this. So that's something I'm going to have to talk about later in another video. But how do we combat this first issue? All right. Unfortunately, there really is one solution. You have to go out and be okay getting rejected. There's this quote. I want to say it was from The Art of Winning by Bill Belichick. Maybe Tom Brady said it. It could have been somewhere else, but confidence is when you're not afraid of public humiliation. Confidence is when you are not afraid of public humiliation. So if I go up and I try to talk to a female I'm attracted to, and I want to say hi to her, and whatever. Confidence, the confidence that I can project to her is because due to the fact that I'm not afraid of public humiliation, or in other terms, her not accepting me, that person not accepting me, equals public humiliation. But once I felt that feeling, I realized that it really wasn't that bad. So how do I solve this? I actually need to go and try to have a conversation with somebody. The more conversations that I'm forcing myself to have, if we have two people, one who watches YouTube videos all the time, two who talks to one person a day, person number two who talks to one person a day and doesn't watch any YouTube videos is going to figure it out better than person one, because they actually get to experience that feeling of what it feels like to get rejected and realize it's not that bad. Now, it's not something that you're going to be completely immune to. It's I know cognitively, well, there's something wrong with that person, or hey, you know what, maybe they're just having a bad day. I can totally rationalize it, but it doesn't make the feeling hurt any less. Necessarily, if you get rejected by somebody that you'd like to talk to. Okay, so quick recap. I need to be able to feel like myself. I need to be able to feel safe being myself. How do I do this? I need to feel comfortable with public humiliation. I need to be able to go out and get the experience of, hey, I talked to that person and the conversation was awkward and weird. I'm telling you, I still have conversations in my head, memories that I have of learning how to talk to people that I wish I had never had. In the sense that it was really awkward, and I have like PTSD from it. Like, man, why did I say that? Okay. And you know what? It just comes with the experience. Okay, when you say something stupid, and it's awkward, you can just laugh at it now. Okay, like, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. That was really stupid. Why did I say that? And then you guys can both laugh, and it kind of breaks the tension. So pretty much that's what I want to talk to you guys about. When I feel safe, I can communicate effectively. If I do not feel safe, I need to remember I'm never going to see that person again. Their approval does not matter because I'm still accepted by my main group. Those are two things. And self-fulfilling, and the self-fulfilling prophecy thing is something that we will actually go from negative to positive in, specifically in the sense that I may self-fulfilling prophecy have negative conversations, but the more I get rejected, that self-fulfilling prophecy is going to turn into more positive conversations because I'm now more comfortable with the feeling of being rejected. So if somebody rejects me in the past, I may have been like, I don't know what to say now. But now it's like somebody says something like, oh, you're stupid. You can laugh at it and, just be like, oh, well, I guess it does take one to know one. That's what I've always heard. You can always bounce back and enjoy the moment. So it's all about having fun. Get into that childishness, that playfulness of when you were a child, just hanging out with your best friend. You never had to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that when you're just vibing with someone. Here's the thing. You bring the vibe. How do you get the vibe? You have to be okay being rejected. How do you be okay being rejected? You get rejected and realize it's not that bad. If you found this video to be inspirational, educational, if you found it to be good, worth of 15 minutes, hit that subscribe button. One of the ways that we can connect with other human beings is by sending them a video. If you've got another friend that's kind of learning how to have better conversations and things like that, feel free and send this video over to them too. Hit that like button. Have a wonderful day, guys. You're watching Better Relationships with Nick.